Hey, 1, 2. Hey, hey. Nice, we're recording there. All right, so we're doing ProPresenter. We're gonna try and start from like scratch and basically like build a service. And then you'll know how to build a service. So let's just go over like the basics of ProPresenter. Right here, this is your viewer, so that'll show you what's going out to your screens. So if you click on a slide over here, it goes to your screen. You can have transitions and stuff. Generally speaking, I think like we just keep with the ProPresenter default, which is like a 1 second fade or a ½ second fade or something like that. Yeah, it's a 1 second fade. I think you can do like star wipes, but I probably wouldn't recommend it. Worship star wipes. Star wipes. Yeah, so this is your viewer. This is your viewer right here. Right here, this is your library. So that's like all of the songs that you've ever done will be in there, unless you deleted them. And I'll show you also like how to add songs into the library if we need to do that. And then below that is your playlist. So these blue things are playlists. So that would be like a service would have a playlist. Yeah. So yeah, you click on the playlist and then it'll all show up right here. The contents of your playlist will show up. If you press, like if you're only running, like if you're sitting down and you're just doing one service and like you're finished building it, there's a little button down here that is the arrows and that just makes just playlist. So if you have like 25 songs, you can see them all and jump around in here a little bit if you need to. Oh, no, stop. So yeah, basically just to build a presentation, you just click and drag stuff in from your library. So let's make a new one. So we'll make a new playlist. We will name this Thursday afternoon. Yeah. And what songs do you guys want to sing? Give me some songs.
Oh, come to the altar.
Oh, come. So you can type it in here and it'll show up. I think I just have stuff from the E3 conference, so we did sing that. So we'll drop "Oh Come to the Altar" in there. Give me a song. Give me another song.
Come all ye faithful.
Oh come. Oh come all ye faithful. So I don't think I have that in the library.
Oh, come all ye faithful.
Yeah.
Oh, come.
Ye faithful. So you also have some stuff along the top here. We'll just go through that real quick. Up here you have the clear all, so that clears everything. You have a clear slides, and that clears your slide content, so that'd be like words. Then there's also a clear backgrounds button, which clears out your backgrounds. So there's that. There's a button that says new. That's if you need to like make a new song from scratch and you're typing it in. Anyways, there's some more things here. The button we need to look at is the one that says song select. Song select is like it's an online thing where like churches report like their like what songs they sang for like copyright stuff to make sure people get paid, but it also is like if you like download charts or stuff, you can download charts and stuff through them. All of our like any charts we would use would all be from song select. So anyways, it should by default all be logged into a church account. So you just type in "Oh come all ye faithful." So type that in and hit search, and it'll come up with many, many things. And this is "Oh come all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant." This shows you like your little preview right here. And this first one looks like it's the one we want, so we can click import. And there's a few things here. It'll say, generally speaking, this will all be set up. It chooses like how you want to import it. So if you want to break every 2 lines or every 4 lines or every paragraph or that kind of stuff. And you can choose where it goes and all that. But generally speaking, that should all be set up. So then mash import on that. And it'll bring it in. And generally speaking, it'll probably be pretty good. So we'll bring that in. There we go. And last but not least, let's bring in some preaching slides, because every good service has to have a sermon. So we'll, because we're going to create that from scratch, or in our case, we're going to bring that in from PowerPoint. We're going to create a new thing, and we will call this sermon. And we'll do that. So what that has done, that just makes a blank, it just has a single black slide there. So the way we usually do sermon slides is we get our preachers to build them in PowerPoint, just because it's a little easier to do this, and then to get the slides out of here into ProPresenter, we usually just save them out as images. So we go, and that also means if you save it out as images, if you load it onto a machine that doesn't have like the same fonts installed or that kind of stuff, it bakes it all into an image, which is kind of nice. So we just go File, versions of PowerPoint, some are a little different. Some you go into like your save, and then in your like file options, there's a JPEG option. I've seen some versions that actually have a like save as pictures button, which you can use. I think this one, if you go down to export, anyways, you can take a look. But if you look at your file format, just bring it down to JPEGs. And you want to save every slide, and the default height and width for every room is 1280 by 720. I think all of the rooms, like PowerPoint is set up to make that it's a default in all the rooms, so you shouldn't have to worry about that. This corresponds with a 720p frame size. So we'll export it onto our desktop, we'll name it Sermon Export, and we'll say, we did that, good job. My desktop is very full. So now we have our 2 slides here for our sermon. So we can go back to ProPresenter, open up our Finder window, and you can just click and drag these right in to there. And then there we go, there's our stuff. Just something important to know with PowerPoint is like if you have any transitions or animations or something in your PowerPoint, those won't transfer over. So if you have a speaker who comes in and has, like they format every single line of their PowerPoint to like animate in, that won't transfer over. You can also, you can just close ProPresenter and open PowerPoint, and that'll work too, but I don't know. If you do it all in ProPresenter, it just looks really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, a little more work up front, but a little less work during the service. And it's always nice to not have to do extra work during the service. All right, so we got all our content in, and now we're gonna look and do our arrangements for the songs. So here's our song. Oh, come all ye faithful. Just kidding. We're gonna do one more thing. This song, it imported all the content. So we have a verse, we have a chorus, we have a verse, we have a chorus, we have a verse 2, we have a verse 3. Now, it'd be convention around here to have a blank slide at the start, and we'll usually put our background on that. ProPresenter won't do that by default, so you have to just click here. Oh, come all you faithful. And you can just go up to your editor up there, or you can right click and go edit slide, then it brings it up in an editor here. So we'll just hit the plus button, make a new slide at the end, and then you have to right click and you have to go new group and go to blank. And that'll set that up as just a blank slide. So group label, blank. If you're installing ProPresenter on a new machine, it might not have a thing that says blank, in which case you'll go down to other and you will make a label that says blank and save that as a thing on your machine. Anyways, basically if you label it, then when you go up to your arrangement editor, which is like this org chart button here, you click that and you go to the gear and you say, I want to make a new one. And this is going to be Mike's arrangement. So with this, you just drag stuff down from the top that you want for your arrangement. So I want to start with a blank slide. I want to go verse 1, chorus, verse 1, chorus, verse 2, chorus, verse 3, chorus. We're going to sing the chorus 3 times at the end. So we'll drag and drop 3 choruses. So you see now, that's all reflected down here. That makes sense for the most part? Nice. So yeah, if you're running projection and the worship leader says, oh, can you minus out the chorus, we're only doing it once, What you don't want to do, you don't want to right click on this chorus and hit delete. Because if you delete that chorus, you're deleting the slide that says chorus, and it'll delete every chorus in the whole song. So you don't want to do that. You want to go up here and delete it out of the arrangement, and then it'll minus it out. Yeah, that's the big thing to know with that. Don't right click and delete slides. Also, like if I take this slide and drag it up here, now I've just made that slide into a new, I've just made that into a new group of slides and put it up there. So now, anyways, you don't want to do that. So yeah, if you want to sing verse 3 first for some reason, you have to click and drag it up here to do that. Yeah, and you get this, when you're done, I always recommend pressing the arrangement button to hide it, and then you don't accidentally click on it and like break your arrangement or something like that. What else? If you have some like scrolling slides, like let's say you have like a bunch of pictures you want to show like as a scrolling feed before a service or after a service or that kind of thing, there's a little clock button right here, and it has a bunch of numbers, and so if you go to like click 5, that will make each slide last for 5 seconds, and when it gets to the end, it'll loop back to the start. You can tell if it's running. You can see there's a little X right there. So if we wait 5 seconds, it'll go to the next one. If you click the X, then it'll stop wherever it is. And then if you click it again.
Pre-service announcements.
Pre-service announcements, pre-service scrolling stuff.
Yeah.
Do that. Every once in a while, we'll get presenters who come in and they'll have like, I have 10 pictures. Can you just throw them up while I'm talking? And then I just do this, and then that'll scroll through them.
Right.
Without you having to think, which is nice. Yeah. What else do we need to know? If you go to remove all right there, then that'll get rid of the timing if you put it on and you didn't want it. What else do you guys need to know? Yeah, I think for the most part that's about it. Yeah. Do you guys have any questions? If you need to resize stuff for whatever reason, like you can see the mouse does that, so you could like make the slides bigger or smaller or that kind of stuff. You can make this bigger or smaller. Sweet, I just got a text. Make that bigger or smaller. There's a slidey thing down in the bottom right. This lets you make your slides bigger or smaller, if it's hard to see. There's a button that this switches between like, this looks more like media shouty, I guess. And this looks less media shouty, so that's something. What else do we need to know? Oh, templating. So if you want to change the look of a song, if you go up to your template here, so you can click on your song, go up to templates, and like let's say we wanted to change the font. There's a bunch of stuff that's built in here. I think there's like, ooh, look at this. This is blue style. That's fancy looking. I think Josh has like a bunch of cool ones he uses for Church at 6. Generally speaking, I think like in the Worship Center, we have one that just says like Worship Center default, and that one will look good. If you're doing lyric overlay in the Worship Center, I think if you go to live stream, there's like live stream default, that kind of stuff. If you want to format multiple ones, you can hold shift and like select, and then you can like, if you want to change the font on every single song in your whole service, you select multiple, and then you can template them really fast, which is good. And Yep. To add backgrounds, you need to, if you go up to your video image button right there, click on that, and that'll open whatever you have built in. This machine doesn't really have much in here, but the other ones will have lots in them. So you can just click one, and then you click and drag it onto like a blank slide, and then it'll stay on there until either you click clear backgrounds, or let's say with this one here, this next one, if you load a different background, it'll kick the last one out. But also notice, like, if we're on this song and we skip, if we don't click on this first slide, like if I just go to verse 1, it'll just load verse 1 with that background. So you have to manually click, say, I want to load this background, and then go. If you put a background on and you didn't want to do it, right click, and I think if you go down to remove cue, image, whatever, and then that'll get rid of it. Yeah. You can
If you want to add something like, say somebody asks you to throw in this certain announcement, is there stuff that's usually preloaded in there? So they're like, hey, we made this video, like the one you made last week, and get it in the slides. Is that going to be in the files already, or do you just have to import that?
If it isn't in there, like if you show up for a Sunday morning and it isn't in there, but if it's like sitting on the desktop, all you have to do, like let's take this video of Eric playing guitar that I have lying around. You can just click and drag that in.
Okay.
And then, there you go. Now it's going. When you're playing back a video also, you have this like, your play pause and you can like scrub around and stuff like that.
In the dark.
Yeah. Generally speaking, like if you're doing stuff for a Sunday service, either me or Josh will usually have built the projection.
Right.
So generally speaking, you won't have to like be importing songs and stuff. I think for youth, we're hoping you guys are probably going to build most of the projection.
Yeah.
But it's pretty easy. Yeah. Do you guys have any more questions?
Oh, did I miss it?
You missed most of it, Sarah, sorry.
You talk so fast.
I know. Yeah, do you guys have any more questions? Bibles. Let's say you need to load in a Bible verse. I think all the machines, I'm not sure if this one does. Yeah, there we go. You click the Bible button, and then you just type in your reference. So usually it'll recognize it. So if you go Exodus 4, 1 to 17, it'll pull it up, or you can click like the little arrow and it'll have it. You can go in and find it like that.
What if you want to change the translation?
You go up to new NIV, and I think NIV is all that we have installed on our machines. You could also go to the internet and do some copying and pasting. Anyways, so then you'd get the slides in here, Exodus 4, 1 to 17, and then you just click and drag those into your thing. And then these are just imported as text. So then you could take these, you could template them, like, you could template them like that, so they look nice. Generally speaking, we don't want to have like a single word on the end of a line. So like right here, you see, the Lord said to him, "What is that in your hand?" So yeah. So like with something like this, I would go in and I would just hit enter there, and that just kind of the line breaks kind of match like the cadence of the scripture, which is what you'd want to do. And let's say you had too much text on a slide. If you click where you want the break to be, you can hit Option Enter, and that splits it into two slides. So then here we'd also want to, now we did that, so then we could do that. Then the Lord said, "Put your hand inside your cloak," da 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 da, like that. Yeah. You also have like all of these controls here, so you can do all these per slide. So if you wanted to change your font or your, all of your, if you want to be left justified, right justified, top, bottom, whatever you want. You can also like format one slide, and then you can go to template and then go down and say save slide as a template. So if you spent a lot of time No, maybe your worship leader was in front of your screen, so you wanted all your text right at the top of the screen. You could format one slide, save it out as a template, and then apply that template to everything,
Oh, okay.
and then it'll
Do that.
yeah, it'll do that. So yeah, basically you just have to get one slide looking good, and then you can just copy and paste your formatting to everything, which is really good. Do you guys have any other questions?
What if I want to copy something within my playlist? So like I'll have a welcome slide and I want it at the top and then I want it somewhere in the middle again.
You just drag it in from the library again. So if we want to sing "Oh Come to the Altar" at the start, and then also at the end, we can just drag it in like that.
What if it's a JPEG? Is it the same thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Just copy it in. Okay.
Yeah, just import it
Because then
twice.
if I put it back in, then it'll say, this already exists, do you want to write over or use existing copy?
I would probably, if it is exactly the same, I would just say like use the existing one. Yeah, that's probably what I would do.
Yeah, good.
Also, like if you drag in let's find a JPEG. Yeah, like if I drag in this image, if you drag an image straight in here, then it comes in and it's something I can like hit play on, which is just a still image. But if you like make a new thing and say like, welcome Eric, so this is a photo of Eric. We make that as a thing and we put that there. And for our welcome Eric thing, we just put our graphic of Eric. Now that's something that's in my library, and then I can put that in there multiple times.
Okay.
And it
then I can
won't.
get rid of that first one. Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I wasn't sure how to import a JPEG into the library.
yeah. So yeah, that's how I would do it. Yeah. I know like Josh will put everything into his like video image bin, which is more important if you have content that like you're going to use between a couple different services. But I found like in the worship center, you generally speaking, like I'll use an announcement slide once and then I'll get a different one for the next week and so on and so forth. So I just leave them on the desktop and just import them in like
But
that.
if like from week to week you were consistently using the same stuff.
Yeah, then I might import it like into your
So
video
you just
image
click and
thing.
drag it into that.
I think, yeah, you could make like a folder. This is like the foreground folder, and then I hit the plus button, and then you can import
okay.
from your desktop. And then that just keeps it like in the ProPresenter's files, and then you can just bring it in as you need. Yeah. Yeah. What else? This is looking like a pretty good church service as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. Do you guys have any more questions? Trying to think if there's any more.
If you were making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich,
Yes.
what kind of jam or jelly would you use?
I use like Kraft smooth peanut butter, and I have not had jelly since I was like 7 years old, so I don't know what's current anymore.
Oh, red currant, interesting. Or black.
No, like I don't know like what the cool kind of. Come on, Chris.
You
Yeah.
actually do have a jar of raspberry jam in the shop. I don't know if you need that. It's from last
fully
Christmas.
1 year old.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gross.
it's jam.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to think what else. If you guys like wanted to, you could. We're site licensed for ProPresenter, so we could put ProPresenter like on your work laptops, and then like you can build a service, like you can build your Thursday afternoon service here, like on your personal laptop, and then you can go up to like File, Export, and you can export your whole playlist as a file, and then load it into another machine. I usually don't do that because as I'm going through, I'm testing it on our systems and that kind of stuff. And then there's a little box that says include media. So if you had like a whole service and you had like some videos and stuff and you want to just have it all as one file, you'd check that box. And then that would export it. You probably won't need that feature, but it's a feature. What else? I think that's about it. I think that is about it. That's ProPresenter. The best way to learn it is probably like just to kind of do it a couple times. And come to let me know if you have a question. But yeah. If you ever, like if you have a song in your playlist twice, you can actually have different arrangements for it. So like this one here, we can have like Worship Center Standard. And then the one at the bottom here, we could say like, oh, I want this one to be just the chorus. So you can have a song with different arrangements in it. So like if you wanted to sing like, the verse and a chorus of "Oh Come to the Altar," and then show a video and have a preacher come up and talk and then sing another 5 choruses of it. You could build 2 different arrangements and then sandwich it like that. Which was, I don't know, we do that occasionally, but yeah. Oh, if you're doing anything that is involving if you're building stuff in Planning Center, what you can do down here, you go down to this thing and there's a new PCO playlist. And, I'm not sure if I'm signed in. This is going to be embarrassing. Yes! So yeah, if you go down to here, if you built something in Planning Center already, go down to New PCO Playlist, and then this will pull up everything you have access to on PCO. So then here I can go here and I can say, oh, I want to get the service order for this Sunday. And select, and it'll open it, and then it'll auto-load your whole format. And then you can you click and drag stuff. You just click the link button, and then you drag stuff in from your library into here. So that just it takes out a step of, it helps you not forget stuff, which is nice. One thing to note with PCO, if you, right now, like you can see it's like a little black icon there. That means it's linked to PCO. So if you go online and if that black icon is there, you build your service and then you change the order of stuff in Planning Center, it'll update here and move stuff around on you, which is nice, just as long as you know that it's going to do that. If you want to just load in the order of service, you can, and then unlink it from Planning Center. You right click and hit convert to non-PCO, and then it just makes it a regular playlist. I usually end up doing that because you also can't change stuff. So like if this was a PCO thing, I couldn't click and drag and move Lion and the Lamb to the top and add an extra song there because it says, no, that's not what's on Planning Center. So, yeah. I don't know if you guys are going to build your youth stuff in Planning Center at all. If you're going to use that for scheduling and stuff, but ProPresenter and Planning Center talk to each other a bit, so that's kind of nice. And then you can also, you can make a folder if you want to have a folder, for a youth folder and a Sunday morning folder or something like that, but you don't have to. Nice. I think that's it. Do you guys have any more questions?
I don't think so.
Nice. We're done.